Wit Happens. Fade in. Interior. Comedy club backstage. Night. Jack Demarant, 30, fully dressed as Donald Trump. Suit, wig, the whole ensemble, stands in the dimly lit backstage area of a lively comedy club. The muffled sounds of laughter and applause filter through the walls as Jack grabs his bag, adjusts his wig, and heads out the back door. Exterior, comedy club alley, night. Jack steps into the narrow alley behind the club, the cool night air hitting him as he starts to walk. The alley is dimly lit, with flickering lights casting long, eerie shadows against the graffiti-covered walls. He checks his phone, oblivious to the figures moving in the darkness around him. Suddenly, a group of shadowy thugs emerges from the shadows, encircling Jack. Their faces are partially hidden, their stances menacing. Jack stops, sizing them up, his Trump persona kicking in reflexively.
Look at this. Tremendous welcoming committee. Low energy, though, like a Democrat rally.
The thugs exchange glances, then burst into laughter, mocking his impression. Jack grins, thinking he's diffused the tension, but the mood shifts sharply. The laughter dies down, replaced by cold, hard stares. Without warning, one of the thugs steps forward and sucker punches Jack in the gut. Jack doubles over, the air rushing out of him.
Okay, that was not tremendous.
Before he can react, the others pile on. Fists and feet fly as they beat Jack brutally, the sound of punches echoing through the alley. Jack tries to cover up, but he's outnumbered and overpowered. They knock him to the ground, kicking him repeatedly until he's left bloody and barely conscious. Jack lies motionless on the cold concrete. The thugs give him one last kick for good measure before retreating into the shadows, disappearing as quickly as they appeared. Interior, hospital hallway, night. 2 EMTs rush down the fluorescent-lit hallway of a hospital, wheeling Jack on a stretcher. Jack's face is swollen and bruised, his Trump wig askew, and his suit torn. The older EMT, a grizzled veteran named Frank, leads the way, while the younger EMT, Jimmy, a bit of a half-wit, struggling to keep up, pushes from behind.
What kind of night is it when the president's hanging at a comedy club? Crazy times we're living in, huh?
Frank rolls his eyes, his patience worn thin by years of dealing with people like Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy, that's right. The leader of the free world decided to ditch the Secret Service for a night of knock-knock jokes and cheap beer because why not? I'm sure the next logical step for a billionaire ex-president is to start doing 5-minute sets in a dive bar in a downtown hellhole.
Jimmy furrows his brow, still not quite getting it.
So, not Donald Trump?
No, genius. This isn't Donald Trump. It's worse. Poor schmuck is a comedian. If Donald Trump were lying here, we'd have the press all over us like flies on, well, you get the picture.
As they wheel Jack into an exam room, Frank pushes the doors open with his shoulder, letting the stretcher glide in with a practiced maneuver. The doctors and nurses quickly take over, checking Jack's vitals and assessing the damage.
No, that's not Donald Trump. That's me, Jack Demarant. Just a comedian trying to make ends meet by doing a passable Trump impression. But instead of grabbing headlines, I'm grabbing my ribs. And instead of basking in applause, I'm basking in the warm glow of fluorescent lights and the soothing sounds of an EKG machine.
A doctor shines a light in Jack's eyes, checking for a concussion, while a nurse hooks him up to an IV.
I was just trying to be funny, trying to make a go of it as a comedian. And now? Now I'm $25,000 in medical debt and a few broken bones away from giving up on that dream entirely. They say laughter is the best medicine, but trust me, it doesn't cover the ER bills.
The nurses continue working around Jack, who stares blankly at the ceiling, the sound of hospital equipment beeping rhythmically in the background.
Now, what is uncertain is if those thugs hated me for portraying Trump or just hated Trump.
The medical team removes Jack's wig to reveal dark, messy brown hair and starts to cut off his clothes.
What is certain is that I was determined to never go back to doing impressions of the one thing that paid all my bills.
Interior, bloke's joke cellar, night. Now heeled and bedecked in a black sweatshirt, Jack, wiry, with a nervous energy, looking like he skipped a meal, stands on a small stage, with one bloke's joke cellar on a cheaply made vinyl sign behind him. Sitting stage right, in a more than suburbia business suit, sits Barry Demarant, mid-30s.
Flash forward a year and a half. The fellow in the front row is my brother Barry, who sells home life and auto by day and manages my career since my agent dropped me when I was recuperating.
Jack spins the microphone stand. A half-sellout crowd waits to laugh.
Yeah, break rooms. You ever notice how there's always that one guy who thinks the microwave is his personal chef? Like, buddy, it's not going to turn your 3-day-old lasagna into a gourmet meal.
A few chuckles, but mostly silence. Jack's smile falters slightly. He pushes on.
And what's with the guy who brings in fish?
A few audience members acknowledge it.
Oh, he thinks he's going to live forever. Well, we got bad news for you, buddy. After we fumigate the place, we're going to hang you.
More silence. Jack shifts uncomfortably. From the front row, Barry gives an encouraging nod. Mouthing Trump, Jack shakes his head.
Have you ever noticed when someone brings donuts that people all of a sudden have their primal instincts kick in?
An audience member starts catcalling.
Do Trump!
Other catcallers join in. Jack turns away, sticking to his act.
What's with the people who break off a piece of donut and put it back in the box? Like they're leaving a morsel for the orphans in the office.
The audience starts chanting in unison. Trump, Trump, Trump.
Unfortunately, my career is stuck in a very orange rut. Audiences knew me for a spot-on impression of a president that I was asked to do repeatedly.